All right, you guys, welcome back for another Microtech torture. So many people have been asking, why don't you do a Dirac? Why don't you do a double edge? Well, today we got three. Let's get started. All right, so we got the Combat Troodon, double edge, stonewash standard, 142-10. We got the fairly new released Troodon Mini double edge stonewash standard, 238-10. And the Dirac double edge satin standard, 225-4. Let's get started. All right, so been a huge fan of the Microtech knives. And there's some things you need in order to do a real torture test of the Microtech knives. So a lot of people cringe when they watch these videos. All right, so no test can be complete when it comes to the Microtech torture test. So recent videos that we've done quite a few. They've been a lot of responses out there. People loving the torture test. We got a very heavy gauge rope. We have some webbing. And of course the nail test. I don't know if we invented the nail test, but we definitely, if not, we're the ones that it's one of the few that had started the torture test nail test for the Microtech knives. We're actually going to test the locks on all three of these knives, and we're going to hammer those through. So we must have a hammer. So let's have fun. Let's see how well these do. And you're going to be impressed. And the reason why I'm going to say that is because a lot of people think that these knives, you know, even this California compliant, the Troodon Mini, this is a very capable weapon if needing to protect yourself or your family. So just because the blade is this small does not mean that this is not lethal. And as we move ourselves up to the Combat Troodon, you got a larger frame. But we're going to be doing all double edge. A lot of people had questions about the double edge. Will the double edge be able to hold up to the same torture test? We have videos in the past where we actually shot bullets and split bullets in half with these blades. So let's have some fun. Let's see, should we start from biggest to smallest or smallest to biggest? Now, one thing you guys may or may not be familiar with is the Dirac. So the Dirac, on most, if not all of the other Microtechs, it's on the top. This one is actually on the side. So tell me that's not a beautiful looking blade there. Great knife, great size. But let's see if it'll hold up to the test. Let's start off with the Troodon Mini. Let's have a little bit of fun with this little guy here. So the overall length is 1.9 something. It's less than 2 inches, and that's what makes it legal in states like California and so on. So what we'll do is let's go ahead and unwind this a little bit. So we'll see how it does for brand new out of the box sharpness. Some of the things you always see people cut paper. I have yet to meet someone that has been trapped inside of a large paper bag of some sort where they needed to deploy their knife in order to set them free. But I have seen people that have been trapped due to ropes getting caught around them, like climbers, and different things like that. So let's do the rope. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to go across it. And man, that was sharp. I'll try the other edge of the blade. Okay. So this is some really thick stuff. So that was good. We're going to go ahead and do, we'll try it with just one thickness first. And it got 3/4, almost almost to the end, but because the blade's so small, maybe that was the issue. But we'll go ahead and finish it off. So very, very sharp. All right, let's do the same with the Dirac. Beautiful, beautiful knife. I love this thing. That is definitely sharp. So this is right out of the box. Very easy. We'll do a single piece of webbing here. Right through it, no problem. You can see there's that piece. We'll go ahead and see if we can double it here. And so no problem, sharp, sharp, sharp. Let's move over to the combat. No issues at all. Let's try the other side, like butter. Let's do this side. Single. Oh, hold on. I will do a single. No issues there. Try a double. Gotta be careful, there's 2 edges on this thing. So, not an issue. Now we'll go to the nail test, see how it does. This is where everybody cringes. Most people collect these knives. They are beautiful knives. They are an everyday carry knife. This is the reason why they did such a good job. But most importantly, you're gonna know after you see this test, this is not a little fidget spinner, just fun, click, click, click kind of knife. This is a knife that was designed to protect you in a need where you needed to be able to self-protect yourself. All right, so we're gonna put this in here. And hopefully this thing clamps down good enough. And hopefully you guys can see it come out of the bottom. The Mini Troodon, the blade's probably not long enough to get through there, but we'll give it a go. So if you're a knife collector that keeps these in the safe and doesn't like to use them for everyday carry, is more of a collector, you might want to stop the video now, because this is where things get a little exciting for the rest of us that really want to know what these things are capable of. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it right here, so hopefully you guys can see it come out through the bottom. Now these do all come with glass breakers on them. You see a tungsten glass breaker on the end. It is very important to have something that you can break a window with. Say you got say you're in your vehicle, you went off the road into a pond, and you have electric windows, and now those are not working. Being able to exit that vehicle is very important. So they have designed a great glass breaker that you can hit the corner of the bottom of the window with and escape safely. All right, so what we're looking for with this is Microtech has designed the lock system to actually work. We've done tests in the past with different knockoffs. There's a lot of companies that try to make knockoff Microtechs, and the things they just can't figure out. They can make them try to look like them, but at the end of the day, you're only buying a real Microtech when you buy a real Microtech. So don't get caught up at going to some gun show and buying some fake knockoff Chinese-made Microtech knife, because at the end of the day, you're going to be unhappy, and you would have wished that you would have spent that money and purchased a real Microtech knife. There we go. Let's see. Okay, so the lock held up great. Where most of these will fail is they have basically a safety device in them. So if I was to engage this in my pocket somehow, or say people think that you could put this up to somebody's body, right, and then deploy it and it'll shoot out. Well, these have a double safety. So what I could do is I can show you that if I went like this and try to deploy it, it automatically makes it so that it doesn't come off track. First off, it can't come off track. But what it does is it basically doesn't allow it to eject out. Now the easy fix for that is you just pull it and engage it again, and now the system's back up and running. So this is a double action. They do make single action as well, like the Halos, but today we were talking about these beautiful knives. So again, safety test, I'll do it here. See, it won't open or deploy all the way. You can open it that way as well, and now you're back in the game. But let's do this. Let's bring out the Combat Troodon. Now this is a great carry, like a full-size EDC knife, along with a very small EDC knife and a medium size. But let's go ahead and test this one out as well. So the Combat Troodon double edge. We're testing right now. We're testing. I call it the nail test. We're basically pretending it's a nail, but we are going to be sending it through a 2x6 board, and we're checking the locks to make sure that the blade will stay locked and not pop, and basically do this where it falls down. That's a failed test. If I go like this and it does this, that means that the locks did not hold up. All right, so let's make sure we get this thing ready to go. We'll put it right here just so you guys can see it. And there it is. So it's down below. We did tests with these on some older videos, and we used a rubber mallet, trying not to hurt the knife per se, you know. It ended up ruining our rubber mallets. So we actually are running a real hammer. So just so you know, the glass breakers are still there. Everything's good to go. We are good. So now the Dirac. Now this is just a beautiful, and I keep saying that, it's like a very sleek, kind of like maybe a dress knife, something. It's just a little fancier in my opinion. Buttons on the side. These are all, let me tighten this wood up here, because we're getting out here a little more. With the pocket clips, they're all deep pocket clip carry style. You can see that it's got the Microtech logo there. It's got the nice little emblem, serial number. One of the cool things about the Microtechs is it has a birth date on it. So it tells you the month and the year that it was made. And it's kind of neat because you can go, oh man, I've had that knife for 8 years or whatever. So let's test this thing, see how it does. Well, there we go. Just for good nature, we'll just beat it a little bit more. So for those of you that stuck around and actually watched the torture, it is, these knives are amazing. Now, I've always been a big fan of this style. Microtech also carries. Some of the things you have to remember with these out the fronts is you do want to maintain them. You want to make sure that they're in proper order so that you can deploy them when needed. So that means basically blowing them out with air, making sure that, you know, there's a little bit of rim oil in there and they all work. So depending on what you're looking for, Microtech makes all sorts of different sizes, all sorts of different blade configurations. Pretty much, if you like something, they probably make it. I forgot, you guys are probably going to want to make sure these things work, right? So let's pull one out or two, and we'll see if they deploy like they're supposed to. Blowing a little bit of the wood off the blood groove there. See if they deploy. Oh yeah, look at that. So there's that one. I'll do 2 of them. I think you guys get the idea. We don't need to make this video really long. All right, so it's cleaned off, no debris from the wood, and does the little guy work? Oh yeah, he's in action. All right, hope you guys enjoyed that video. Take care, stay safe, and get on over to Microtech and order yourself one. See ya. This keeps slipping. Stop slipping. All right, so there's the difference between no serrated and serrated. Right here, watch this. Different spot. So hopefully you guys can tell the difference.